Dead sewers, and tonight, Zook was going in. Zook stood at the rusty manhole entrance, gripping a flickering flashlight that seemed about as reliable as a chocolate teapot. His avatar hoodie glowed faintly in the darkness, which felt less like a place and more like a thing watching him. "All right," Zook muttered, stepping down the ladder. "In, out, survive, easy win." The ladder clanged behind him. It locked. "Okay," he added quickly. "Maybe not easy." The sewers stretched out like a maze designed by someone who really hated straight lines. Water dripped, pipes groaned. Something far away made a noise that sounded suspiciously like a cough, but wetter. Zook walked forward. Splash. He froze. "Please tell me that was just water." Another splash answered him. "Yeah, water doesn't reply. That's not good." As he moved deeper, he found his first clue. A glowing note stuck to a wall. "If you hear footsteps, don't stop moving." Zook blinked. "That feels like the opposite of what I should do." Then, tap, tap, tap. Footsteps echoed behind him. Zook didn't turn around. His brain screamed. His legs agreed. He ran. Now imagine sprinting through a sewer maze where every turn looks identical. Your flashlight is flickering like it's trying to send Morse code, and something behind you is gaining ground. That was Zook's life now. "Left or right?" he yelled at nobody. He chose left. Bad choice, dead end. The footsteps got louder. Closer. Closer. Zook spun around. Nothing. Silence. Just dripping water. Nope. 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 He turned back. The path was gone. The sewer had changed. Walls shifted. Pipes twisted. The maze rearranged itself like it was playing a game of Trap the Player. Zook gulped. "Okay, this place is cheating." He kept moving, solving puzzles along the way. One required aligning broken pipes while something growled in the dark. Another forced him to memorize symbols that looked like they were drawn by a very angry raccoon. Then he reached a large metal door. Locked, of course. Above it, scratched into the wall. 3 valves. One mistake. It hears you. Zook slowly turned his flashlight. 3 rusty valves sat across the room. And something moved in the shadows. "All right," Zook whispered. "Time to be smart." He turned the first valve. Clank. Nothing. Second valve. Clank. Still okay. Third valve. He hesitated. This is definitely where it goes wrong. Turned it. Screech! The lights died. Total darkness. Something roared. Zook ran. Not graceful running. Not heroic running. This was full panic, arms flailing. "I regret every life decision running." The creature behind him splashed through the water. Fast. Way too fast. Zook's flashlight flickered back on just long enough to show. A tall, shadowy figure crawling along the ceiling. "Why is it up there?" He spotted the door ahead. It was opening. Slowly. Too slowly. "Come on, come on, come on!" The creature dropped behind him. Right behind him. Zook dove through the doorway as it slammed shut. Silence. He lay there, breathing hard. "I'm alive." A pause. "I think." Then a soft drip echoed nearby. Zook slowly turned his flashlight. Another tunnel, even darker. A new message on the wall. "You made it this far. It's been watching the whole time." Zook stared. "You know what? I missed the surface." But he stood up anyway. Because in dead sewers, there's only one rule. You don't quit. You just go deeper. And somewhere in the darkness, tap, tap, tap. It started again. The sewer didn't breathe. It waited. Zook stood at the edge of the new tunnel, his flashlight now dimmer, like it had seen too much and was considering early retirement. "All right," he said, squinting into the darkness. "New level. New nightmares. Let's go." He took one step forward. Splash. 2 steps. Drip. Drip. 3. "Hey, wait up!" Zook jumped so hard he nearly uninstalled himself. A second player came sprinting out of the darkness, arms waving like inflatable tube men at a car wash. It was a Roblox avatar wearing bright pink boots, a banana hat, and sunglasses. In a sewer. "Name's Bloop," the player said. "I've been stuck down here for forever. You got snacks?" Zook blinked. "There are monsters hunting us." Bloop nodded. Yeah, I saw one. Rude vibes. Anyway, snacks?" They moved together through the tunnel, Zook serious and alert. Bloop stepping in every puddle on purpose. "Splash check!" Bloop yelled every time. "Can you not announce our location?" Zook whispered angrily. "Sorry," Bloop whispered back. "Splash check. Quiet version." They reached a broken bridge over a deep sewer drop. Pipes hissed. Steam blasted randomly, like the place was trying to cook them. On the wall. Step wrong, fall forever. Bloop leaned over the edge. "I kinda wanna see how far it goes." Zook grabbed him. "No, you don't!" "Quiz time. For you." What should Zook and Bloop do? A. Carefully jump across each plank. B. Sprint across and hope for the best. C. Let Bloop test it first. Risky but funny. D. Turn back. Not really an option. Pick in your head. Locking answer in. They chose A. Carefully jump across each plank. Zook went first, timing each step like a pro gamer in a final boss fight. Bloop followed. First jump. Good. Second jump. Wobbly. Third jump. Woohoo, parkour legend! The plank snapped. Bloop fell halfway through, dangling. "Zook, I regret everything!" Zook grabbed his arm. "Why would you yell mid-jump?" "I like sound effects!" With one final pull, Zook dragged him up. They both collapsed on the other side. "No more sound effects," Zook said. "Okay," Bloop said. "Beat. Tiny ones." "No." They continued until they found a control room filled with old screens. Static flickered. Buttons blinked. One screen suddenly turned on. A camera feed. It showed them. From above. Zook slowly looked up. A camera blinked red. "It really has been watching." Bloop waved at the camera. "Hi, Mom!" Then the speakers crackled. A distorted voice filled the room. "Players detected. Progressing too far." Zook froze. Bloop leaned into the mic. "Yeah, we're speedrunning. You got a leaderboard?" The lights flickered. The voice returned. "Releasing the Dredger." Silence. Zook turned slowly. "That sounds worse." Bloop nodded. "Way worse. Like boss fight worse." The door behind them burst open. Water flooded in, and something huge moved beneath the surface. Not fast, not loud, just big. Zook backed up. "Run!" Bloop didn't argue this time. They sprinted through twisting tunnels as the water rose, sloshing around their legs. The sound behind them wasn't footsteps anymore. It was something dragging itself forward. Slow, heavy, unstoppable. Zook's flashlight flickered one last time and revealed a massive shape in the water behind them. Eyes glowing, watching, waiting. Ahead, a ladder. "There!" Zook shouted. They rushed toward it, but the ladder was broken. Of course it was. quiz time. Final choice. How do they escape? A. Stack objects to climb up. B. Find another exit fast. C. Distract the creature. D. Bloop does something incredibly stupid but heroic. Lock it in. Bloop cracked his knuckles. I got this. Zook turned. I don't like that tone. Bloop jumped into the water. Hey, ugly fish monster! Splash check! The creature lunged toward him. Zook's eyes widened. Bloop! But Bloop grinned. Climb, dude! Zook scrambled up the broken ladder, using pipes and cracks to climb higher. Below, chaos, water crashing, the creature roaring. Bloop zigzagging like a man who had fully accepted his life choices. Zook reached the top and pulled himself out onto solid ground. He turned back. Bloop, come on! For a second, nothing. Then, a hand grabbed the edge. Bloop pulled himself up, soaked, still wearing the banana hat. Worth it, he said. They both lay there, exhausted. Above them, a faint light. The surface. Freedom! Zook laughed. We actually made it. Bloop nodded. Yeah, easiest game ever. A pause. Then, tap, tap, tap. From the tunnel behind them, Zook slowly sat up. Part 3. Bloop grinned. Splash check. Round 3. The light above them flickered like a promise that wasn't sure it wanted to be kept. Zook and Bloop stood beneath the final ladder, soaked, exhausted, and about 12% emotionally stable. Freedom, Zook whispered. Bloop wiped sewer water off his sunglasses. Fresh air, non-suspicious puddles. Snacks. They started climbing. 1 rung, 2 rungs. 3. Clang. The ladder snapped. Both dropped back down with a wet, dramatic splash. Zook stared upward, completely still. The game said no. The tunnel behind them groaned. Not a small creak. Not a spooky drip. This was the kind of sound that meant the entire sewer had just woken up. Walls shifted, water churned, and a new message burned onto the wall in glowing letters. Final phase initiated. Bloop slowly turned to Zook. That's boss fight language. Zook nodded. That's definitely boss fight language. The ground trembled. The water began to spin, slowly forming a massive whirlpool in the center of the tunnel. From below, something rose. Not just big. Not just scary. This thing looked like the sewer itself had decided to become a creature. Pipes twisted into arms. Grates formed jagged teeth. Eyes glowed from deep within the sludge. The voice returned, louder now. The Dredger, fully awake. Bloop blinked. Okay, yeah, that's illegal. The Dredger slammed a pipe arm into the ground, sending waves crashing everywhere. Zook grabbed Bloop. Run! But this time, there was nowhere to run. The tunnels had sealed. The only way out was through it. Final quiz time. You decide the fate. How do Zook and Bloop defeat the Dredger? A. Use the environment. Pipes, valves, explosions. B. Lure it into the whirlpool trap. C. Work together with perfect timing. D. Bloop does something completely unhinged again. Lock it in. This is it. Zook took a breath. We combine everything. Bloop grinned. Oh, teamwork and chaos. My 2 favorite hobbies. Phase 1, distraction. Bloop sprinted forward, arms flailing. Hey, Dredger, you look like a broken toaster. The creature roared and lunged. Good, it understands insults. Bloop yelled, running in circles. Phase 2, setup. Zook dashed to the control pipes along the walls, twisting valves, rerouting pressure. Steam burst out. Water levels shifted. The whirlpool grew stronger. Almost there, Zook muttered. Phase 3. The plan. Bloop! Lead it to the center! Bloop turned mid-run. You sure? No, but do it anyway! Awesome! Bloop sprinted straight toward the whirlpool. The dredger followed, massive and furious. The ground shook. The water roared. Zook climbed onto a pipe above, gripping the final valve. This is either genius or the worst idea ever. He turned it. Krang! The whirlpool exploded into motion. Water spiraled violently, dragging everything toward the center. Bloop jumped at the last second, grabbing onto a dangling chain. Zook, I'm swinging without a license! The dredger wasn't so lucky. Its massive body got pulled in, pipes snapping, sludge tearing apart as it struggled. Zook shouted, "Now!" Bloop swung forward and kicked a loose power box. Zap! Electricity surged into the whirlpool. The dredger let out a final, echoing roar and collapsed into the depths. Silence. The water calmed. The walls stopped moving. A new ladder slowly lowered from above. This time, it didn't break. Zook and Bloop climbed up together. Every step felt unreal. The air changed. Cleaner. Lighter. They reached the top and pushed open the manhole cover. Fresh air, sunlight, freedom. They collapsed onto the street, staring at the sky. Zook laughed. We beat it! Bloop raised a fist. Splash check champions! A notification appeared above them. Badge unlocked. Escaped the dead sewers. Zook smiled. Worth it. Bloop nodded. Still want snacks, though. Then, from the open manhole behind them, tap, tap, tap. Zook slowly turned. No. The screen faded to black. The end. Dead sewers. But dead sewers isn't the kind of game that lets you leave quietly. The sunlight flickered. Just once. Like the sky blinked. Zook sat up slowly. Did you see that? Bloop was halfway through eating imaginary snacks. See what? These invisible chips are incredible. Tap, tap, tap. Both froze. The sound didn't belong up here. Not on a normal street. Not in the daylight. The manhole cover behind them moved. Just a little. Just enough. Zook stood. We closed that, right? Bloop nodded. Yeah. Pretty sure. Like 60% sure. The cover slid again. Scrap. A thin stream of dark water leaked out onto the road. Cars nearby glitched. Streetlights flickered. A distant NPC walked into a wall and just kept going. Zook stepped back. That's not normal. Bloop squinted. Yeah, the NPC's been walking into that wall for like 10 seconds. Not that. The manhole cover burst open. Not violently. Slowly. Like something underneath didn't need to rush. A shadow stretched out across the ground, long and warped, bending in ways shadows absolutely shouldn't. And then, a voice. Not from the sewer. Not from the street. From everywhere. You left, but the game did not end. Zook's stomach dropped. Nope, I don't like that sentence. The ground beneath them shimmered. The world glitched. Buildings flickered between normal and broken textures. The sky fractured into pixel-like shards. The map was falling apart. Bloop looked around. Zook! Zook nodded slowly. We didn't escape. A new message appeared in the air, massive and unavoidable. Secret ending unlocked. The sewer follows. From the open manhole, something began to rise again. Not the dredger. Not exactly. This was smaller, sharper, faster. Piece of it. Like the boss had left behind a hunter. It climbed out onto the street, its form twitching between solid and glitching code. Eyes glowing, locked onto them. Bloop pointed. Round 4? Zook cracked his knuckles. Round 4. Final secret quiz. Ultimate choice. How do they end this for real? A. Destroy the source code controlling the sewer. B. Lure the creature back underground and seal it forever. C. Escape the map entirely. Break the game. D. Bloop goes max chaos mode. Lock it in. This decides everything. Zook looked at the glitching world, then at the creature, then at Bloop. We're breaking the game. Bloop's grin grew. Oh, I like this plan already. They ran. Not away. Through flickering buildings, past frozen NPCs, across streets that kept unloading and reloading like the game couldn't keep up. The hunter chased them, faster now, glitching closer every second. Zook spotted it. A shimmering crack in the air, like a tear in reality. The map edge, he shouted. Bloop didn't hesitate. Full send! They sprinted straight at it. The hunter lunged. Closer, closer. Zook grabbed Bloop and jumped. For a moment, everything went silent. No sewer. No city, just empty space. Then, error. Error. Map failure. The hunter froze mid-air, glitching violently. Its form broke apart into fragments of code, dissolving into nothing. The voice screamed one last time. You were not meant to... Disconnected. Zook and Bloop landed hard on a blank white floor. A new screen appeared. True ending unlocked. You broke dead sewers. Bloop lay there, staring up at nothing. Best game ever. Zook laughed. Yeah. A button appeared in front of them. Return to lobby. Bloop stood up and stretched. All right, next game? Zook smirked. As long as it's not... Tap, tap, tap. They both froze. Slowly, they looked down. A tiny puddle of sewer water had followed them, and it moved. Bloop whispered, Part 4? Zook sighed. Part 4. The end, for real.